Hey guys, welcome to Isaiah's Reviews, and today I'm doing a review on Batman v Superman. Originally, I had shot a video before going into the theater to capture my emotions pre-movie, and then I did a review right after the movie, but I went back and watched it. My emotions have changed. After the film, I did a lot of investigating in on each character, their origins, a lot of Zack Snyder spoiler interviews, which he's doing now, to explain the film and why it is the way it is. And after doing that, my whole viewpoint on the whole entire film changed. And it's very important that if you go watch this film, this is a non-spoiler review, but if you go and you watch the film, right after you do that, go and research your Zack Snyder spoiler interviews and things of that nature, spoiler reviews. But be very, very careful on the spoiler reviews that you watch. I've watched a lot of early spoiler reviews, and they were trying to get a spoiler review out first for views. And they don't make a lot of sense at all. Once you start pulling your information from the source, Zack Snyder, Ben Affleck, all the guys that's in the film and are actually hands-on in the movie making process for it, your view totally changes on the film itself. That's why you really need to watch it twice. Go the first time to see it, then do your research, do a lot of research from the source material on the spoiler stuff, on the spoiler side of things, and then go watch a second time with that in mind, and it will make more sense. I can't go into a lot of detail on why it would make sense because this is spoiler free. So let's get into the movie review itself. Well, the movie's 2.5 hours. The original cut, the director's cut, is 3 hours. So they trimmed it down by 30 minutes. The Blu-ray will be rated R, and I hope to God it will be the director's cut, which I'm assuming has to be because this one's not rated R. And we'll get the full 3 hours, which will fill in a lot of gaps. All right, the first 40% of the film, solid, well written. I don't think any of the editing, the hard editing to remove those 30 minutes happened in that period. I think from the 40% to the 90% spot there, time frame, that's where your editing is happening. That's where they're, okay, we got to reduce this thing by 30 minutes. Let's take these transitions out. And when you go from scene to scene to scene, good transitions the first 40% to jump cuts, chop, 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 chop through, you can really see those 30 minutes removed out of that, I think, out of that section of film. So saying all that stuff, and then after doing all your research, the movie makes sense. You've got a web that branches off of certain things on something, a web, and the overall web will be displayed a decade from now when the entire DC Universe film format style, this new style that they're doing, is explained. And this is the center of the web, we'll say, or the start of the web, we'll say center. And then you'll take, because it's like 3 or 4 movies wrapped into one, this one is. And you'll be able to take all your webs off of each section of this film and with explanations tied in later. So don't go in expecting clear answers to what's happening. You'll be very confused. Now this is where the fun part happens because like I've said 3 times now, do your research after the film. Alright, so this is all I'll say as far as the storyline goes. I know it's very bleak, plain, and whatever, but trust me, go see it. 3 or 4 films wrapped into one, I'm not lying. So let's talk about the performance of Superman. Did it pay off? Did his story arc in this film pay off? Was it what you wanted it to be? But, I still want to see a little more humor from Superman's side of it. And by that, I mean charisma. Like, some of the dialogue back and forth between Superman and Batman would be nice. I know it'll happen later, like when Justice League happens. But, because it's all serious. This film's serious. And, but I really look forward to seeing Superman, just live a little. Just smile, Batman. Why you always got to be upset, so uptight? And then because that's kind of like their relationship. And Batman's serious and the world's greatest detective, so from the comic side. So it's cool, looking forward to Justice League for that for me. But anyway, before I get too far off course, Superman on this, I thought he did great. I mean, you see the struggle, you see him getting close to not turning his back on humanity or humans or whatever, but coming close. I feel you get that, and I feel you get an understanding of why he may feel that way, and from the credits, I think you get an understanding of why humans may feel the way that they do about Superman. I think that's well laid out in this film. Now let's go to Lois in this. She's kind of like this link in a chain to link to other things that's happening in this film. You know, her importance isn't really that super great and laid out. Like her side, her written side is not that well done. There's certain things that she does in this film that I'm like, how does she know to do that? You know, that's not explained. Or why is she doing that? And I don't want to spoil too much, but you know, it is what it is. It's a link to get you to understand why this and this and emotional relationship to Superman or whatever. That she's just a pawn, I guess. So now let's go to Batman, Ben Affleck's Batman. I honestly think that the standalone Batman with Ben Affleck will be the best Batman ever made. This is the Batman that I've always wanted to see my entire life. I was born in '82, and my entire life, this is the Batman I've always wanted to see portrayed, and that is the grungy, muscled up. He gained over 20 pounds of muscle. Batman that just destroys, and it's awesome. There's a Zack Snyder. This is not a spoiler. This is something I think that you need to know that'll help you when you go see this film. But Zack Snyder did say that, yes, there is some killing that happens in this film from a Batman standpoint, but it's done by proxy. It's done by proximity. So realize that, and realize that the intent is not a direct thing. And when Zack Snyder researched the past Batman films, he actually looked at how many direct deaths are related due to Batman, and they're all proximity deaths, and they're quite a bit. I think there was like up in the 40s or something from Christopher Nolan Batman. So do not go, what is happening? It's been completely normal. It's just the other ones have done a little bit better job of masking what has happened around them, where this one's a little more brutal, and I actually like it. And I like the fact of how they showcase Batman for the first time in this film. It really shows how he plays on the dark side of things and how he's been doing that for 20 plus years. Because Batman's established in this film. He's been around. He's an older guy. He's like in his 40s, I think, or something. So he's been doing this for over 20 years. And how he's able to flow and move in the shadows and use that to his benefit. He's a seasoned pro at it, and you really see the fear that he's able to instill in criminals' minds about him and the police. So really, really well done job on the Batman side of things. So now let's talk about Wonder Woman. Is Wonder Woman the Wonder Woman that we all want and deserve? I think so. I think she's got the look. She's got the eyes for it. She probably weighs 110 pounds soaking wet at the beginning, going into the Wonder Woman project. But I feel like, Hugh Jackman with Wolverine, he bulked up over the course of a decade or so. And I think she'll do the same playing Wonder Woman if she continues to play this throughout her career or throughout Wonder Woman's time on the movies. I think she will bulk up and look more athletic than what she does now, but I definitely like the determination in her eyes and the look and how her presence on set there was really, really good. So I see a strong future for Wonder Woman, and I honestly think they picked the right one, even though right now she's a little on the thinnish side. Now Lex Luthor, or shall I say Mr. Luthor, without spoiling anything. Jesse Eisenberg, did he do a good job as Lex Luthor? I don't think that's the style acting I really wanted for a Luthor to be. You've probably heard it many times if you've done this research and you stumble across this video, but the acting is kind of what I anticipated from him, and I hated to see that. I would have liked something a little out of the element of him, a little more serious, like a stronger Kevin Spacey Lex Luthor, I think. He's a businessman. He's a corporation leader, but I can't go into anything else without spoiling it for you, so we'll just leave that there. The cameos. There's cameos. Is there a post-credit scene? Are the cameos sprinkled throughout the film? Well, there's no post-credit scene, I'll tell you that. So pay close attention. I'll go in depth more about why I think they chose to do it this way, and why I think it's okay, even though you'll hear some people dog this out in the spoiler review, which will be Wednesday. Today's Easter Sunday, by the way. From my robe to yours, happy Easter. But Wednesday, that's the spoiler drop. That will happen then, and I'm really excited because I can tell you the ending and why it ended the way it did from a comic standpoint, and why they're doing the things that they're doing, and explain a ton of stuff from an accurate comic perspective, because I've been doing my research and I will do my research between now and then. So look forward to that. Mark your calendar, Wednesday. So bottom line, did I like the movie? Did it pay off? Is it what you want to see in a Batman v Superman movie? I think that it's going to be different than what you're expecting. I think it's planned and programmed out to be exactly what it is, and for the reasons that it is making sense to me. So make sure to go into this with an open mind. Very important to do your research after it's over with before you come up with a full assumption of the film. And I think you'll leave happy with that knowledge. And I think you'll see it on my side. It's 8 out of 10 for me. I think that maybe they should have went ahead and made it rated R and put the 30 minutes in for 3 hours. That would help to probably boost my rating to a perfect score. But I can see why people would leave right away and go, this was a mess. This was an unorganized mess. I can see that. But after you do your research, I've said it like 6 or 7 times now, but after you do your research on this, it's clear why this is the way that it is. And it's something that needs to happen, because I still fear that the superhero hype train that we're on now could end. And this, in my opinion, is the best way that they needed to get to a point in this side of the DC universe that it needs to be in. It needs to be in the realm that the next set of things to happen. So it had to happen this way. So thanks for watching, guys. Batman v Superman, 8 out of 10 for me. In the comments below, if you watched it and you liked it, say you liked it. If you didn't, tell me why. Give your rating in the comments below. It'd be pretty cool too, but make sure, please, God, before your mind wanders and you're getting confused, listen to the podcast where I go into spoilers before you make your complete assumption of the film. Because I think after watching the film and then listening to the podcast on Wednesday, which will be here on YouTube, your mind will open a little bit and you'll realize, okay, this makes sense. This is why this is happening. And your opinion of the movie will rise. And you'll look forward to the next series of things that's going to happen with the DC movie universe. Thanks for watching. See ya.